Hey there everyone, this is Jeffrey with Killaskila Gaming and welcome back to Crime Scene Cleaner. Previously, we did a rather large location, the largest one we've seen so far, which was the art museum that we were at. For lack of better words, I'm not sure if that's the proper term for it. And I do believe our next one is going to be at Big Jim's warehouse, based on the preview we got. I'm not really sure what it is, but this is supposedly the last chapter in the main game. So let's jump in and see what we got. Oh, upper. Okay.
It's Jim. Some lazy workers tried to screw me over, so now they are dead. I have no intention of dealing with that shit again. Do you know how hard it is to find loyal employees nowadays? So how is it gonna be, Kowalski? Are you more loyal than the guys whose corpses you'll be collecting? I believe so. Check your email for details.
Each one of your tasks makes me more of a corpse, Jim.
I would agree with that. I'm liking the rain. I love rain. Okay. Oh yeah, we got another big one, so this might be another long episode. Or several episodes if I end up splitting it up. I do apologize if I end up doing that, but... Big Jim, warehouse cleanup. There's a warehouse to clean outside the town. Fucking riot, part of my Anglo-Saxon. Some guy infiltrated the premises and incited other workers to take over the factory. Ungrateful bastards, disloyalty is a deadly disease. Luckily, I got some of my guys nearby. It didn't take them long to come and put them in their place. If workers don't want to work, they might as well be dead. This place should be easy to clean, remote location, access to running water, almost no furniture. Jim. Okay, Alina, these are the final weeks. Hi Dad, the doctors told me that these are the final weeks of my treatment. I'm excited but also nervous. I know it's not over yet, but I can see the finish line. I'm trying to stay positive and take it one day at a time. I can't wait to be home with you, and I know Dexter's probably waiting for me too. Love you. I'd really like to see the daughter, meet the daughter. Under happy circumstances, just to be clear. Okay. Alright, since this might be our last crime scene, there's got to be more to the game, right? I don't think this is going to be the end. Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. Sure, let's go with that. Ah, this is probably worth it then. Okay. Call in dead. I don't know if I like that title.
It'll be a long night. This was the moment when Big Jim was at his weakest. With so many people going after his ass, he needed to make a choice. If not, there probably wouldn't be anything else to anticipate but his imminent downfall.
He keeps kind of pressing out the idea of loyalty.
I'm here.
Good. Now listen. The power is down, so find a way to turn it back on. It will help you a lot with your job. Obviously, when one thing goes wrong, more disasters have to follow. Those fools Those must have broken something.
Next to cleaner, I should definitely add electrician to my CV.
Interesting. He has a CV. It's weird because even in my line of work, people always ask for resumes, and I'm like, who in my field uses a resume? How many people that have a biology background use a resume? We almost always use CVs.
I can't open it from this side.
Some very tailored to like certain types of positions, but we almost always use CVs, especially academics. But okay. I'm kind of wondering. You know, what if we steal stuff from this place? Is that gonna hurt our rep with the boss? Oh, there we go.
No need to look for the bodies.
Yeah,
Well armed for a worker.
yeah. Well, consider who they work for, I guess. Water. Well, let's do the usual.
What could possibly happen that made them so desperate? I wonder.
We'll get the bodies back as we go and do our usual trash pickup.
I can dump bodies down this hatch, if I can get it to open.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. We'll just carry this one since we're already here. Actually, you know what? Let's not. Play smart. Let's pick up trash while we're going to. I have a feeling we're going to get a lot of bullet casings here. So why would they lock down certain skills for certain levels? If I'm on the last chapter, so to speak, they must be expecting to expand the game, I'm assuming. I kind of hope, because I mean, that's a fun game. I think it'd be fun to have more added to it.
Toilets straight from jail. How do I sign up for the revolution?
Let's start. Okay, so this is resistant detergent. Let's do strength. And let's do clean. Okay. Yeah, it looks like they give us different markers for it. Hopefully that works. That perk I have. Alright. Shoot.
Will I have to put it all back?
Oop, buddy.
Completely flattened. These workers really did put up some fight.
Let's move the bodies into one place. And one thing that's really kind of bothered me and about this game, but also stories similar to it, you know, a big one that actually comes to mind
Mate.
is Dexter. If you ever watched Dexter, any of the series, I know there's a lot of people that really seem to like, if of the original series, season 2 and season 4, and I honestly just could not get behind those seasons. It's not that I disliked them or anything like that. I don't really think there's any season of Dexter that I've fully disliked in any way, or that I have trouble watching. But there's so many things that happened in season 2 where I was like, okay, that would not work the way you think it would. And similar stuff happens in this game where it's like they're emailing each other about killing people, about bodies, about, you know, stuff that you should not be emailing each other about. You know, text messages, emails, things like that. They're, you know, they can be intercepted. I mean, it's dangerous to be sending information out that way. Digital information doesn't just disappear. And it kind of made me think, I don't know if I brought this up previously, I was thinking about it, and I thought it would be something to kind of discuss, given what we're, playing here. But that always kind of bothers me about stories like this. Oh, oops. Wait, what is that? What did I just pull out? Oh, the ozonator. Okay. Yeah, it looked like I still had the katana. Hey, how's the katana work compared to this? There was a trophy for this too. We're gonna use it anyway, just because it's kind of badass. But that's stuff that always kind of bothers me about when they do stories about when people are doing stuff that's illegal. Is, there's, to me, I like hyper realism in stories. I know some people say, oh, I don't like it. I want to play games for an escape, or I want to watch stuff for an escape. And I'm like, well, yeah, I get that. But I'm a scientist. I like good science. Especially if something's based on it.
Swap.
And this isn't necessarily a science game, right? I just happen to be a scientist playing the game. But, it's one of those things where I'm like, I like to see some realism in that sense. And I don't feel like I'm the only person in that realm, because I've seen people comment about that stuff very frequently. And so with this in particular, like I said, emailing each other, that kind of stuff, the way they talk on phones about stuff. I mean, what kind of phones are these? Are they current? They look like modern day smartphones. Is that really a good idea to be talking about this stuff over a modern day phone? Our phones have recording devices in them. They listen to you when you're not using them. That's how they work. That's what makes them work it so well. Some people probably don't know that some phones, and with phones, you can actually use them to listen to things without the phone being active, which is really scary. There are ways to do that. And so I'm always like, man, why would you talk about this stuff and not like put the phone in a Faraday box, like talk in person with people? Leave dead drops, something like that. And I know like talking is more convenient, but it's like, okay, well, use a prepaid phone, use a voice modulator, which it does sound like Big Jim uses. So I don't know if that's a voice acting choice, but it sounds like he's using a voice modulator whenever you hear him. And it might just be like the voice actor, because I've heard there's only like 3 voice actors in this whole game. And that's fine with me. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I always just assume Big Jim used a voice modulator because it's a smart move. So that kind of stuff... Oh, power. There we go. That kind of stuff always bothers me.
Around here, somewhere.
When we're in a game about... or a story about, covering up a crime. A lot of people get into crime shows for a reason, and whatever side of it you are interested in, doesn't really matter. They gotta do a good job, whether they're solving the crime or committing the crime. That's literally all I had to do is pull a switch. So, one of those things I kind of wanted to bring up, and I thought might be a good point of discussion for our, 10th chapter. Oh.
Hello there.
This is the thing that talks.
Hello?
Hey there.
Well.
That's the thing that talks.
I know no fear.
Okay, I'm gonna have fun with you. Alright, this isn't wanting to break easily, so... I want to see what's in here.
The vents look cleaner in the movies.
Yeah, also don't do this in real life. Don't go into a vent. They're usually not designed to hold the weight of a person. This one looks really big, like it might have been, but like small vents and stuff, they're not built to sustain a body weight. And I'm not saying they will necessarily just fall through right away. It kind of depends, I think, on the design, but I wouldn't test it unless you have a way to get out of the situation. I can hear the thing laughing. Okay. Secret. Oh, okay. This is downstairs, right? Spoons over there. Nice.
This job is the best. Nothing out of the ordinary ever happens, so I have a lot spare time to take care of my plans. Thanks for believing me. Now, I have to go for a quick round to give off the impression of a very busy person. See you soon, ma'am.
Right in there.
Nothing out of the ordinary ever happens.
Okay. Can I clean up the pizza? I like cleaning up pizza.
I know no fear.
I'm liking the ozonator already. That's what Gab was using when I was watching her. She had that super early on. I never even thought to use it. Another reason that I'd like them to do extension to the game, which they may have already done for all I know. I've not looked at the full trophy list yet, and there's new trophies have been added on, so this may not be our final episode beyond, like, you know, trophy cleanup, which I do plan to do. So yeah, when it comes to, like, what they're doing, I think privacy is a really important thing, right? If you don't want to get caught, I'll close this for now. If you don't want to get caught, privacy is kind of important. So the way they just, like, flippantly talk about killing and death and all that stuff, it's like, are you trying to get caught? Okay, so he said we could use something to get the body down. Oh, here it is. Okay, I got it. How do I... Maybe it's jammed. I think first things first, let's get the system up and running, right? This could be a big help for us. Oh, maybe that's their problem.
Looks like an access card.
Conveyor belt key card, right. That would explain it. Again, I've never worked in a warehouse. I don't know how these work. I'm assuming this is based on real design, but... Sorting room. Okay, so not that way. You know, it's one of the things I really liked about... I mentioned Breaking Bad a couple episodes back because we were talking science. But Better Call Saul, they actually talk about burner phones a lot. Like, prepaid phones are... Prepaid phones are a great way, you know, to go for that privacy side of things. And I don't know how big... Ooh, nice. I don't know how big prepaid phones are nowadays, but if people still use them. Okay.
Facing the man above. He must have been the one who shot him.
Yeah. Control room. Oh, really? Alright, this is gonna be kind of sick, right? When we're checking bodies around. That could really work to our advantage, though. So yeah, burner phones, you know, IP addresses, don't use your IP address, don't, you know, Wi-Fi connections, usually I would say are not very secure. I'm not a tech expert, so feel free to jump in if you know of stuff that, you know, that I'm not mentioning, or if I say something wrong too, you know, correct me, but malfunction notice, due to a device malfunction, please do not use more than 3 panels simultaneously. If more than 3 panels are used, the entire system will shut down within seconds and will need to be restored from downstairs. We have scheduled an electrician to visit to fix the issue, and he will come tomorrow in a few days soon. Okay. Use maximum of 3 panels at one time. I don't know. Okay, that must be elevator, conveyor. These might be conveyor. I don't know what that is. Should we try them? I've got a car, I just don't know where it goes. Conveyor belt's going. You kidding me? Can I hack this somehow? I haven't done this in a while now.
Damn.
Ah, crap. Okay.
Shit.
We're fine. Not great at these.
Easy peasy.
So he says.
Another one.
Okay. Oh, it's got a chip reader on it. Now, I do know that some phones nowadays are a lot harder to break into than you would, and harder to cause problems with. But usually when people that are in that realm of work, you know, they know some of the tools of the trade to get around that stuff. Part of which would be, you know, coding experience. And just knowing how the tech works.
Can't pick up anything with a full bag.
And coding experience in general helps with a lot of stuff tech-wise, though. Movie nights every Friday, mandatory, relaxing, OHS movies first. Later, more movies. OHS. Bring snacks. P.S. We gather at the old TV room above the power supply. I want to get a feel for this place while we're around as well. I'm assuming collecting the money here is not going to be a problem.
Well, today is my turn.
I see John and Johnny on here a lot. What kind of people do you hire to work at a warehouse like this? People you probably want people that will knowingly keep their mouth shut, right? Of course, when you run a business like this, nothing's guaranteed. There's always going to be risk. So I thought I heard shells clicking. Casings. Another body. Yeah, so I think the card reader I have is for these. Open up those conveyor doors. Yeah, the thing's moving. And I can operate in the dark. I don't need the lights. I don't care about that.
Jim's reinforcements must have got to him.
Let's try throwing him on this. That's where he ends up, I guess. Try that card out that we have. I think I have 2 garbage bags here. That might not work. We'll come back. Which one do you go to? This one. Oh, it's power, not lights. Nope, they're still running. It's lights. The one that was like closed in on the compactor. Okay. Where'd the body go? Bag is still there.
Was it shot unintentionally or on purpose?
Oh, this is trash. What do we got here?
One more to the collection.
Okay, elevator, which I don't really need right now. More explosivo here, I guess.
Time for a bag swap.
I do like my little axe, but this is kind of fun, right?
Need to empty the trash can first.
We got just the one body, right? There's just the one body, actually.
Can't pick up anything with a full bag.
Oh my god, really? What? OMG. Yeah, it's picking up everything at once, so if you hold the button to pick up items and
Need to empty the trash can
hover over
first.
them, it picks up everything, so that's much trash we just built up here. Okay. Go that blade.
A textbook safety violation.
Yeah, we've seen a few of those, haven't we? Okay. And that's the door back. Let's get you on the
Probably
conveyor belt.
died in an explosion, along with all the electricity.
Yeah. I'm hoping that the bodies will end up where I want them. Or maybe at the end of this thing there's like a compactor that we could use. Actually, that's probably not a great idea. That would just leave a lot of mess. Let's rethink that one. Unless you can like compact them in a way where I can you know, take the mess with me. Imagine if like this is like on the security cameras, there's just a guy walking around with a sword whacking boxes.
Time for a bag swap.
Move it over here. Garage doors of some sort. Okay. I don't think these are gonna work, but let's give it a try. They seem to just tumble back on themselves. Or fall right off. Oh.
Can't pick up anything with a full bag.
Yeah, those are shotgun shells. Okay. Let's get this collected. A lot of the stuff that's up here can just be thrown over the edge for all I care. the rest of the trip on your own. Hello later. I guess I can activate it for now. Oh, great.
Reinforcements arrived.
Well, you on the conveyor belt. I want to see exactly where it goes. Okay, and then it goes into that. And where's that go exactly? Okay, nice. So yeah, I just drop all the bodies on there and we're good. I don't mind working in the dark. It's not that big of a deal. I actually feel more comfortable being in the dark.
Someone here returned fire.
Speaking of which, one thing that always bothers me in games too, and this is more or less watching people play games, and I'm not the type of person to say, to tell people they're playing the game wrong or anything like that. I don't like backseat gaming. I don't like, people have, especially when people are doing like a first playthrough, it's like, play the game the way you want to play it. Play the game.
Time for a bag swap.
It doesn't matter. Just play the game and enjoy it. That's what it's for. And so I always feel bad when people kind of get attacked for the way they're playing the game. It's like they're just playing the game for the first time. Let them play it. But one thing that generally does bother me. TV room, okay. Is when people are in a situation where they know there's somebody nearby, like let's say somebody breaks into your home or something like that. And one game that always stands out on this for me, reminder, no talking, no questions to the supervisors, only answer fast, keep packages sorted, no fighting, containers contents can go boom. I can yell as much as I want, you can't. Good work, equal good pay. Again, keep your mouth shut. Signed, the boss.
The disaster was waiting to happen.
Yes. So, imagine a situation, like I said, where somebody breaks in your house, or one that always comes to my mind. Find these. One game that really particularly hits the nail on the head for me with what I'm getting at is Fears to Fathom. Specifically, I think it's the episode 4, the Ironbark one. You're in the lookout tower, watching for fires. And there's the part where actually it doesn't even have to be a specific part, but there's one part in particular where you wake up and there's somebody outside, or it looks like there's somebody outside. And I hope that's not a major spoiler. I'm not trying to spoil things because that happens pretty early in the game, but it looks like there's somebody outside. Is there or is there not? No spoilers, right? So anyways, the thing that bothers me is when people wake up, they see this figure that's, that could be a person standing outside, right? And the immediate thing they do is go and turn on the lights. Have you ever watched somebody's house, even your own, from the outside at night? Like when lights are on, you see everything. You can pretty much see everything that's going on inside of that house. So, what was the point of turning on the lights? So you could see? What are you going to see? Nothing, because you just blinded yourself to whatever's outside. You only saw what looked like a figure outside because the lights were off. If the lights were on, you wouldn't be able to see out there. In fact, they can see inside where you are. So you just announced that you're up and awake. They might think you heard them. I would assume that. So it always bothers me when people just run to the lights and turn them on right away. Now, I'm also a person who likes being in the dark, so if somebody's afraid of the dark, I understand their want to do that. think about it. You know, you're kind of protecting yourself by not, you know, by not not doing that. You know, don't raise the alarm. I don't know how much more trash we have. And since we're in the dark, there are a couple places we should, or one place we should check, which is over here. There's probably more I'm not thinking of, but I think there was a spot over here I just completely avoided. Yeah, I was kind of avoiding this.
They wanted to grab some things and run away.
Phone.
Had the whole escape planned.
John W.
On top of that, they wanted to steal my stuff. What cowards.
John Go? Is that supposed to be like John Goff? Like Van Gogh? And John Wick, I'm assuming, for the W. Pack the paintings into the truck. This will be our escape and last payment. And please use this money for a fresh start. I'm on it. Yeah, paintings. John Goff. People usually say Van Gogh, but I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be pronounced Van Gogh.
Pay for rent. He ended up paying with his own life.
The same way that you'd pronounce the Hawkeye's name in... Is that his name, Hawkeye? In Dark Souls, the first game. Goff, the one with the huge bow that slays dragons. And he says his name like that, so... I don't remember where that name comes from exactly. But is it Welsh maybe? Because one of my friends mentioned that name particularly, and she's Welsh. So it might be Welsh. I thought that was interesting. I actually never knew it was pronounced that way until she said that. Okay. The demand is high. These suckers really think that this shit is real. Please make another 100 copies and deliver them to the buyers. Orders from above, the boss. So counterfeit paintings. Yeah, so the whole thing about being in the dark, the reason I'm getting at that is because it's like, okay, somebody's breaking into your home. You don't want to turn on the lights to where they know where you are and that you're awake and aware of their presence and all that. I mean, it's like, yes, you do want to get them away from you. So eventually, in many cases, you're going to probably announce your presence at some point, whether it's in self-defense or something else. So I'm not telling you how to go about that. Don't take my advice on that. Listen to somebody who's experienced with that. But I would say don't announce your presence by flipping a light switch and letting people know you're there. It's kind of like in horror movies when people go to areas where, you know, where it's like you're watching a horror movie and it's like, you know, there are things you don't do in horror movies, right? And it's like, hey, is anybody there? Like, you just like speak out loud in the dark and it's like, no, why did you do that? And of course, it's a horror movie to you. Oh, wow. What are these? Are these people I should know? I feel like I should know these better. Up and down. But yeah, just so from my take on it, I would say don't announce your presence until you're ready to announce your presence. I have a reason to. Flipping on that switch gave it away that somebody's there. Maybe they didn't think you were there. In which case, that could be useful, right? Scaring them off. Eventually, you're probably going to have to announce your presence anyway, though. Good a place to start as any, I think. We just try and power wash this. Let's use...
This room will be purified.
How do I work you? Oh, it's just automatically working. Okay. How long do you take? Alright. Okay, I really wanted to test that. I wanted to see if the vase would just fall to pieces, which it did. Uh-oh. Can I seriously not get up?
Death to the vultures.
Okay, this thing is kind of awesome. What was the other voice?
Hi.
I want to see what the kid sounds like. We got the mop and the two mops actually, if we need them, but and the sponge, of course. I think the purifier just makes this stuff easier. I don't think it actually gets rid of it.
Work in progress.
So do we want the child voice or the, you know, the deranged voice, as I'm going to call it? This painting does look familiar. An anchor or something else. That painting made me think of the the whale penis
I'm
thing.
still dealing with the unpleasant smell.
Is that speaking a different language? Because I didn't understand the thing it just said. Interesting. I want to see what it does to the floor. It doesn't look like it's fading it away or anything. I think it just makes it easier for us, but switch that over.
Hello.
Okay. It's kind of nice because it's pointing me where to go. But so on the note of the paintings.
I still smell blood here.
Okay, so there's probably something above us. Yeah, I think we're on the lower setting. Okay. So there's kind of a old phenomena I'd heard about where when we didn't know, like when we used to make maps, you know, before we had explored most of our bodies of water. Where's my buckets? I'm kind of getting turned around in here a little bit. I think we're actually quite a ways around the corner, but we'll just work here for now. I'll find him in a moment. But before we know, like, you'd see like drawings on maps, like where people would be, like there would be like giant, like tentacled monsters coming out of the water, like giant squid and stuff. And it's like, well, you know, those do exist, but I think it's well thought, and I don't know where that comes up in like historical record, that a lot of those monsters were probably people seeing whales out in the water, because one thing that whales tend to do is they will turn upside down and let their wiener just free that willy. They would just let it out, and it looks like a giant tentacle coming out of the water. And so it's a kind of common belief that, you know, a lot of what was put on those maps like that may have just been people looking at whales. You know, they're just seeing whales. Which I think is really funny. You know, because giant squid don't come to the surface like that. If they do come to the surface, they're not coming that close to it, unless they're hungry enough and there's a food source there. But they're usually really shy. So I just think that's real. I just think that's really funny that was the basis for some of those maps. Yeah, I get you. It's, you know, fun stuff, right? So yeah, if you ever wonder why there's monsters shown on old maps, it's because the areas probably weren't quite fully mapped out at the time, or the explorers saw the stuff. Probably just saw a giant whale flipped upside down, showing its bottom, its nether regions. It's kind of funny, right? We'll do this after. I'm gonna get this area done. Oh, we're gonna need a mop for this. Pack the floor with the mop. That's fine. We'll use the power washer when we need it. If we need it. We're probably gonna need it. Seems like the mop still gets dirty pretty quick. Which, you know, in reality it should. It's blood. Blood is messy and it gets literally everywhere. So I've worked with blood a lot over the years. Some of it professional, some of it just because my nose bleeds very easily. And I tell you, like, my nose bleeds like really fast when it does. And there's nothing I can do about it. It's just something I have to live with, but it's just kind of funny the way, like, a lot of times what I'll do is if I have the ability to, if I'm going to take a shower, I'll just get in the shower so it doesn't, at least it's not getting everywhere while I'm, you know, tending to it. And, you know, bleeding from the nose can be a little tricky to deal with, but especially if it's a massive bleed, but okay, the extra mop is actually coming in quite handy right now. The extra sponge will be next. If we have more to do, I'm hoping we have more to do after this. I mean, I'm gonna have to redo some of these chapters anyway, just to get the, you know, the secret locations. I'm sure a lot of them seem like they're tied to trophies, so at least the big fun ones so far. But just from like nosebleeds alone, it's like blood, like people looking like a garbage can or something, or if you looked at, like, if I didn't clean the shower immediately, like while I was having that problem, there's so much blood that comes out so fast. Like, it's really concerning looking. And your body holds quite a bit. It's a lot messier than you think it is. If you ever watched somebody bleed. So whenever I see crime scenes, like, on one hand, I'm like, how'd you get that much blood there? But like this stuff, like right here, like, yeah, this is what you'd expect, and it's gonna get everywhere. Especially if somebody gets shot, it's like, well, there's gonna be a spatter that goes with that, right? Same thing if somebody gets, you know, stabbed, hit, whatever. It's gonna be a mess. And there was I don't want to forget this because I remember seeing this earlier. I just didn't know which one it went on. All ground floor completed. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. You know, of course, I've mentioned that I worked at a vet clinic for 3 years, and one of my main jobs was cleaning up after surgeries, and I also packed surgical kits and whatnot, so I worked with blood quite a bit. You know, it doesn't bother me, like, not the line of work to go into if you don't like that kind of stuff. I was also the fecal guy. I prepared all the fecal samples because nobody else wanted to do it. And it's funny because you only need a little bit of poo to make a fecal sample. So basically what you do is you put it into what's called a fecalizer. It's a little device that you put a microscope slide onto. You kind of pack it into the device, and then you actually, I'll just keep this. Can I take that back out? Yeah, I'll just keep this one since we're right here. But you pack the poo into like this little thing called a fecalizer, and then you cap it with this solution in it that basically is going to allow you to prepare a slide for it. And what you do is you put a cover slip over the fecalizer once it's prepared, and whatever's in the sample will drift up to the surface and onto the slide, and you put it on the cover slip onto actual slide and check and see what's in it, and you can look for parasites and whatnot. It's pretty cool. And parasitology is kind of like one of my areas of interest, so it's funny because I taught microbiology for over 10 years so far. It's one of the first classes I ever taught completely on my own. And I'm not a microbiologist per se, but it's just one of those areas that it was easy for me to pick up on because... Oh, I should have stayed up there. It's easy for me to pick up on because I have a molecular biology background, and a lot of what you do in microbiology is just really low-tier bull work that you would do in molecular biology. It's a lot of just... We say bull work because it's just a lot of work that has to get done that's really not that hard to do. Alright, let's do this. This is going to annoy the crap out of me. These don't look like they're any, like... These don't look like they're any particular types of cases, so... I'm kind of thinking, what if we just move stuff out of the way? These are probably going to all be... Does it not go up there? It totally goes up there. Because you're not the right one? I don't know. How many of these can I just pick up? Some spatter here.
Put it back like that.
No. Some blood, of course. Let's this area a little bit. Get this shelving unit up. Get the blood out of the way. I don't think it's gonna matter which one again, right? Just matters which way it faces, I'm assuming. Oh, the green versus yellow might be a bit of a problem, right? Trying to get these in right. Oh boy. There we go. You back up. Okay. They're all green again. Oh, we got yellows. I'm assuming these are going to go back on the yellow racks, like the greens on the green racks. Which is kind of nice and probably a good system to have for this. I've said I've never... Oh, that's why you didn't want to go up over here? That was one of the yellow rack ones. Or some other color. It looked like it was blue, but...
My life.
Oh, it was blue. It's the base of it, but... I should have been looking at... These would work over there. Oh, what am I doing? It's this one. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Oop. Pretend I did not do that. Bucket's right here. Just do it. kind of funny that I ended up teaching microbiology a lot because, like I said, I'm not a microbiologist, I'm a molecular biologist. And people, for whatever reason, cannot keep that straight. They mean very different things. And I understand they're not a biologist, that's why they struggle with it, but microbiology means the study of small living organisms. And in microbiology, that extends to non-living as well. You're essentially just studying life on a different scale. So it's actually a pretty general subject area. Because a lot of stuff kind of falls into that realm. So I always teach it from a generalist perspective in that way, because a lot of microbiology classes tend to focus a little too much on bacteria for my liking. I'm not I like working with bacteria. They're very easy to work with. You know, they're very important to work with. I think this one could probably take the... You know, so a lot of classes in microbiology tend to focus on bacteria and viruses. And I was like, okay, well, if it's an advanced microbiology course and that's the only place they're getting it, that's fine. But, you know, it's like you can teach courses on bacteriology, virology, and stuff like that. And if that's all you're teaching in the microbiology course, I'm like, well, you're missing a whole spectrum of things out there because you're not covering all of the protozoan parasites, which to me are the most interesting. You know, so like your causative agents of like malaria, sleeping sickness, stuff you're probably going to run into a little bit more in tropical environments for the most part, but they exist elsewhere just as well. You know, common one I used to always hear about, and I've had students tell me that they had it, you know, under several occasions, is like Giardia, which you would get from drinking water contaminated with, you know, fecal matter from something that was infected. So, you know, if you ever go swimming in brackish water, relatively warm areas, relatively warm, and you swallow some of that water, you might get giardiasis, sometimes also known as beaver fever, because I do believe it's picked up by beavers. I'm assuming that's where that name came from. You know, you miss out on that kind of stuff if you just fixate on bacteria. You also miss out on all the like animal parasites, you know, like all the insect-based ones, all the worms. To me, all the really, really fun stuff, if you ask me. And so I feel like it's important that stuff gets covered. At least to an extent. Like, you don't need to cover every little thing about it, but...
Forklift certified.
Mm-hmm. I always look at it like this. It's like, okay, well, what do you want to do with your life? That's how you want to decide which of those courses is most important to you, because you can have courses on all that stuff. But, you should at least learn a little bit about it, and if you're going to take, like, a general microbiology class, I feel like that should be covered. And a lot of times, like, textbooks will cover it, but, you know, the textbooks in general, I don't like them. They tend to be a lot of times paperweights. They're really expensive paperweights, if you ask me. But some people like to read, and that's how they learn best, and I understand that. Do what's best for you. Try to get out of your comfort zone a little bit, too, though. That's really important. It's good to learn how to learn in new ways, rather than just sticking to what works best for you. Although sticking with what works best for you is, in many cases, probably going to be the best way to go about it. We do all learn very differently, so... But make sure it's working for you. Find a system that works. But that's where I'm like, oh, well, if I'm going to teach them about about microbiology, I feel like parasites need to be included. You can't just skip on something. And some people will be like, oh, why are you covering this? It's not even microscopic. I'm like, well, yeah, it is in a way. You're just you're not thinking about it that way. It's like, okay, well, molds are really important in microbiology. Yeasts, all that kind of stuff. For the parasite side of things, immune response type stuff, you know, making foods, fermenting stuff, you know, making beer, wine, liquor, and all that stuff is really important in that realm. And that stuff is usually covered to some extent in those classes, but I'm like, not enough where I feel like it's... Usually I feel like it needs to be covered a little bit more than what a lot of people seem to do. So I usually teach my classes in that way. I try to make sure we cover a little bit of everything. And I'm like, well, if you've taken a general biology course, you should have learned what all these organisms are to begin with. You just didn't go into a lot of very specific detail on it. And that's where I in class can bring that detail to the foreground a little bit. You know, so like things that I tend to like to... Didn't you go here? Or is this considered a blue one? Yeah, that's a blue one. Okay. So like... You know, like let's say we want to... Let these go over here. Oh yeah, these are scary. Be careful when handling gas containers like this. It doesn't matter if what's in the gas container. If the container breaks, you're going to have a bad time. One of my colleagues and I almost had that happen to us one time because we were trying to move a container and oversold our skills on it, and we ended up almost being crushed by the container. Good thing it didn't go off, because we probably wouldn't have survived. You know, just because of the amount of pressure built up, and I'm like, it's pressurized gas, so... But anyways, when it comes to, like, the class, I was like, you know, let's say you take a general biology class, you learn about metabolism, photosynthesis, things like that. While in microbiology, I'm like, all that stuff is still there, right? So we're still going to learn about it. But you've learned the basics. So my take on it is, why don't we learn something that's a little different? That's where I tend to focus a lot on bacteria, because that's where all the differences are, is how they metabolize things. But you also have photosynthetic organisms that aren't plants, that aren't classified as your typical plants, some that are very small. That's where I start saying, okay, we've done the color thing before, Kowalski. That's where I'll say, okay, let's talk about algae, you know? Let's talk about bacteria that are photosynthetic. Let's talk about other organisms that aren't your typical photosynthesizers. You know, let's talk about how photosynthesis differs between a plant and an alga, because they're very different organisms. And I think this goes back here. So, to me, I like to be a little bit more comprehensive about it. Nobody's really ever said otherwise about how to teach it to me either, so it's not like people have said, oh, that's the wrong way to teach it. I don't think there is a wrong way, but I'd say usually geared towards the class and what they need. Which, to be fair, most of my students have been nursing students in the past, so... Or some kind of healthcare. In which case, they're probably don't necessarily need to know about all of that stuff, but... Then I have some that'll be like, oh, well, I didn't know anything about it, so it's kind of fun to learn about it. So I'm like, well, there we go. And maybe I'll run into it in healthcare. You know, it's a good way to relate it to different careers, too, because you don't want to do your entire class based on one type of career, right? Like, you can't just say, oh, well, most of my students are nursing students. Let's do all nursing-related stuff. I can't do that. I mean, I can try to simplify the class and make it more set for just nursing students if that's my main body, but if it's for an intense biology program or something like that, then it's like, no, that's not going to cut it for everybody else. You know, they need to take certain skills away from this to make their degree work. And, you know, a lot of them are going to take it based on interest then, so what do you need to know? That kind of depends. That's kind of where you want to ask yourself that. Ooh, that was bad. I don't see one over there, so let's put this one here. We're missing a gas canister, though. M'lady. Sorry. Inside joke. Frasier joke. Actually, you might get it if you've watched Frasier. Okay, these need to go back up front, right? I think these need to go here. You didn't think you were getting out of here without some biology lesson, did you? I'm sorry, I can't turn it off. It just comes out. And we're reorganizing the place. Let's be honest here, right? We can talk about stuff while we do this. If you do you have a job or where you have downtime and you're trying to figure out how to use that downtime in a way that's you can do your job, but you also want to make it fun. Put on some music. Let's sing. Let's talk about our favorite shows together. Let's talk about something. Let's make it fun for us so it's not just, us trying to get through the day. It's us getting through the day by, working together. It's me organizing shelving units and giving you guys a lecture you probably don't want to hear. Alright, I'm kind of wondering if I just took the conveyor up and forgot. So let's try the elevator, I guess. We can use this to bring us up. We're gonna need that water though. So are we on 1 or 0? Okay, that worked really well then. We're probably gonna have to go find the water source to fix this place. The place didn't seem like it was that messy considering how big it is. So we'll just do the best with what we have.
First things first, gotta scrub, scrub, scrub.
Where do you go? Literally right there. Alright, not gonna be able to clean much. Probably a lot of this without water, so. It's gonna be really problematic though if I don't have a water source here. Yeah, so I suppose continue this little office area for now. Oh my god, come on. What's that? That's just the leg of the table. I do have to remember that I do have the ability to wash quite a bit right now, so we don't exactly have to run downstairs or anything for water. Oh, oh, oh. I should remember too, we also have an extra bucket we could bring, so this would be the time to do it, right? Like, I actually have no idea where I am. I'm just following the blood. Give me that. Yeah. mister. Right, oh, I did that backwards. That's such a me thing to do. Have I done that before and just didn't realize that? If you've noticed me doing that, please let me know in the comments. Let me know how stupid I am. Okay, let's... This can mop and handle this. Oops, it's already cleaned. It's a pony. Or unicorn. I don't know, one or the other. Oops. I meant to do that. Okay. Wow. Awfully messy. Hmm? One back here, so... Oops. There you go.
It won't move like this.
Why? 'Cause these are in the way? Come on.
I need to clear
Oh
the
my
way
God.
first.
You're making this too hard, my friend. Okay, so far the cleaning in here has been pretty easy. Just a lot of it. The shelving units were interesting. Okay, workspace is cleared. Okay, I'll do what I can here. Like I said, we're going to need a water source, and I think it would be easier if the source was on the same floor. So what I might do is go up to the second floor and see if there's a way to jump down on the other end. Because this is going to take forever otherwise. I mean, it's going to take a while either way, which is fine, but if I can push it along a little bit and not have to take the elevator every time, that'd be kind of nice. Let's get that. That's pretty high up. This must be the explosion, right? This was the room, I think, that held all of the shrapnel in it. It doesn't matter. find clues about what happened. I just noticed that was there. Office. Oh. I bet I couldn't get in here earlier. Maybe that's what I need to do. Take the elevator all the way up. Okay. Oh. I thought the cord was like a ring, necklace at first. Why would we want to know exactly what happened here? I mean, I do want to know what happened, but I don't remember that being a part of the objective in the past. Is this Kowalski working his exit strategy here? Are we not being loyal to Big Jim? I don't think Big Jim would like that.
He'd empty the trash can first.
Would you stop with that, man? There we go. What are these? It seems like a fancy office. I'm assuming this is Big Jim's. Of course, he's a one monitor kind of guy.
I don't know how long workers will manage without a raise. They're pissed and can't even pay rent when most of their payment is used to pay off the debts they have.
Ungrateful bastards. If not for me, they will already be dead. They aren't even in a position to negotiate. Keep them on a tight leash.
Look where that neglect got you.
Okay. So it's not Big Jim's, it's the warehouse boss, it said. Seems like a pretty schmancy place for a warehouse boss. Oh, it's literally right there. Okay, take this with us. Personal file. Johann Abrams, 45 years old, notes, drug addict, gambler, lost his company in a bet, wife and kids, doesn't know, struggle with money. Johnny Bravado, 33 years old, a dropout of student loans, stressed sick, unpaid medical bills. Okay. Okay, well, I'll take this with me. But I'm actually going to have to take a quick break here because I need to tend to my babies for the night. So I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. Sorry for that. Chicken dad, right? I have a chicken. Actually, I have several chickens, but I had to put my older one to bed. I forgot that it's getting dark a little sooner than normal. I don't know when the outside went from light to dark, but it is about 20 to 10 right now, so this is the area I was talking about parkouring to. I guess we didn't need to parkour at all. We just need to take the elevator. So this is fine. Oh my god, really?
Time for a bag swap.
I'm kind of wondering if they like leave the weapons behind specifically for me to tend to, since they've been used. Oh, that's not. How's that?
Fragile content, fragile box.
Okay. I don't know how those weren't small enough.
Can't pick up anything with a full bag.
Yeah. Chill out. The problem with, like,
Need to empty the trash can first.
being a criminal and having weapons like this is that usually they, you know, if they're smart, they're gonna have, like, registered weapons that they would kind of use as their, you know, general purpose weapons. But then there's stuff where it's like, you know, do you really want... Oh my god, really? Like, if it's registered, you really don't want to find that, you know, at a crime scene, being found at a crime scene, because it's registered. It's going to be registered under somebody's name, right? And
Can't pick up anything with a full
presumably your
bag.
own. So usually, if people are getting into something like really
Time for a
illegal,
bag swap.
like this, they're buying weapons that have like serial numbers filed off and whatnot, which is highly illegal. Never do that. But, you know, they're doing that. That's what they're paying for, and they're going to pay a lot more for,
Need to empty the trash
you know,
can
the weapon
first.
just for that alone. So, people that are in the line of business of selling stuff like that, you know, that's where they're making their money, of course. It's not just the hardware, it's, you know, the fact that the hardware is non-traceable.
Time for a bag swap.
Well, let's say you got pulled over by a cop. Cop finds weapon. Suddenly, you're in a heap of trouble just for having that weapon because the serial number's filed off, and that's a big no-no. Can't do that. These aren't broken, are they? Okay, and that's our new water source, right? This could be a kind of our new base camp. Ooh, nice hardware. And get a body. Another body. We want to get that to the conveyor, though. I didn't see that this wasn't broken, so... Number one.
Last one.
Got our last key card. I don't know what that one goes to.
Seems like they had it all perfectly planned.
Motherfuckers. They chose death the moment they decided to go against me.
Yep. Cool John. John W. John the Onion. They're all using the same base names. Boss, should we bring anything today? No, everything is on site. What time do we start the party? Can't we start early? Work, you will hear the DJ. So please, no headphones. Okay. We'll clean that up, but... I could try throwing the body to the conveyor, but there probably is going to be an easier way to do this. But we still have to get up high. Ripes. What exactly were you guys doing over here? Oh. Is that a wiener? With a cigarette and a cassette in it? I'm not even going to try that. My German's rusty. I took German in high school with one of my friends. And it was a teleconference class, so we went to our telecon room that connected with the other schools. And we were a god-awful group of students, I will say. We were so loud and obnoxious most days. On our probably not our best days, but and then like the days where like we just didn't feel like learning or something. Oh no. Uh-oh.
I am back.
What happened? So like the days where we just like didn't feel like learning or doing something. I suppose I could use this, hey? Let's clean this while we're here. The mop reach. We're gonna need this to get over there, aren't we? Oh, maybe we don't. I can just jump down here. Okay, we might need to figure this out. I think that's just a magnet, but if it rides outward, I could be able to use that to get around. So anyways, we were in this teleconference room and stuff, and like the days where we just didn't want to do anything, we would just take a still of us working, mute the microphone, and then just like go about doing whatever we wanted to do. And like the instructor was like one of the nicest people in the world, so if she ever happens to watch this and knows who she knows who I am. let's not say if she happens to watch this and to see this, my apologies for our behavior back then. I think she had fun with the class though. I mean, like, we were obnoxious and loud, but she didn't seem to hate us or anything, though she had every right to. Yeah, so she'd just be looking up and be like, wow, you guys are really quiet today, and are you all there and listening? And we just hit to unmute and then be like, yeah, we're fine, we're here, and go about whatever we were doing. Okay, that was from the museum-ish place. Unknown key. Alright. I'm assuming that's the magnet. Let's try it. You still... Yeah, I'm really curious where that door goes now. Because if that's not going to the other side... I might actually need to take the bucket upstairs.
A toy for big boys.
That didn't work. Oh, magnet was on. I just gotta drop it and bring it back up then. There we go. We don't need a full parkour here. A little bit of parkour, okay. What? Oh, you communicated with them, huh?
Standing almighty above them all. Seems to be their leader.
And he can go way down there. Can I open you? Was I supposed to do that from the start and then like I was supposed to run across it. Okay.
managed to connect the faintest of threads. I wonder if he told anybody about it.
If he had, I would have known about it by now. But still, this place is burnt. Too many people snooping around.
Okay. This place is burnt, he says. Alright. Jeez. Okay, let's do a quick cleanup of this. What I should be doing is dropping the ionizer somewhere. I don't know if it's gonna make a huge difference where I'm at right now, but I could have totally dropped it somewhere while I was working on this. This is gonna take a while, I think. Unfortunately, I can only do so much right here, right? That's what I have. I do have a water right next to me, so alright, let's go. Oh yeah, this is dirty too. Ooh, I really want to see the other side of this, and I suppose I could try cleaning this from here. Well, maybe I can just jump to it then. It's probably a secret. So, let's see. Oh, wow. Some nice hardware. Cripes.
Now I'm certain about who is responsible for Tammy's disappearance. Every day that I work for this scumbag makes me sick to my stomach. But I have to endure it for now. That arrogant piece of trash promoted me, so he must trust me on some level. He's weak now, and won't see what's coming. Big Jim, you will pay for what you did to my daughter!
Their leader wanted a revenge for murdering his daughter. You've made yourself some enemies.
Hire person, treat him well, and look what got me. Leave all the evidence in the office before you go. I need to take a closer look at it myself.
Will do.
Okay. Alright, before I forget, you know, we have the means to get rid of the bodies right here. Dismemberment.
Can't pick up anything with a full bag.
I thought we had. Yeah, we do have a small one. There we go. Tons of trash bags. Oh my god, really? Okay, I think we're good. We're confident. Am I confident I can get the bodies there? Oh, we're good now because I can move around. Okay. That's how you get around. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Okay. I'm gonna move everything over to that spot.
It's time for a purge.
Alright, let you do your thing. while I get these bodies over to the conveyor belt.
Behold my power.
Uh-oh. That was not the conveyor belt. Nice. Okay. Alright, well, 1 of 3 hit the conveyor belt. We'll fix that while the ionizer is running. One body onto the conveyor belt, 2 missed, and then I think 2 trash bags. So we're gonna have to run down there. Okay, well. Yeah, everything's pretty much going right down where I want it to anyway. Alright.
They got a lot of dirt on you, didn't they?
The truth is, everyone really wants a piece of Big Jim for themselves.
Sweeping everything under the rug can only get you so far, Jimmy.
Look who's talking. Oh, believe me, I can get me quite far.
So, I guess it's not your first time.
You see, one should know when the place becomes too hot. And this right here, it's scorching. That's when you move somewhere else. Maybe it's time for a little vacation.
Now, to hope that he actually means it.
One of the things I kind of wonder too, you know, I was talking about evidence. Not evidence. I was talking about, you know, being careful, right? So essentially not leaving evidence behind. The other thing that I was thinking of a little bit there. Oh, what was it? Now my mind's like blanking out on it. I was just thinking about.
Give me a new enemy.
So what were they? They were talking. About things getting too hot, right, and having to move. I'm sorry. Now I can't think of what I was even gonna say about that. There's something relating to, like I said, not necessarily having to do with evidence, but gaining attention, I guess, is one thing. Oh, it was the money thing. That's what I was thinking of, money. You know, like the IRS pays attention to money. That's what they do, right?
I know no fear.
So what are you gonna do if, like, let's say he's got these hospital bills he's paying for his daughter? That's why he's doing this, right? Where's that money coming from? Like, we know where it's coming from, but we're gonna say it to the IRS when they show up. Generally speaking, people like Big Jim would have, you know, legitimate businesses that they could use for laundering money, but let's go with this thing. You know, but we're just one person here. You know, because where's the money for the medical bills, like, officially coming from? That's one of those other things you kind of think about in these situations. You know, there's certain things you can get away in life with, like, just paying cash, right? But there's certain things that you can't. Let's get the walls while we have this out. I think the mop seems to clean the fastest, obviously. And who knows, maybe Kowalski does have a way he's dealing with the money, but that we just don't know about.
Give me a new enemy.
I can respect a person like Kowalski, though, who's doing what he's doing for his daughter, who wouldn't do that. Yeah. I mean, there's a point where people are going to say, that's a line I'm not going to cross no matter what. And I understand that, too, because that's, you know, usually the way I am about a lot of things, but especially when it's illegal. But, you know, there's certain things that we wouldn't do in our life, right? And some of it in my life, it's like I won't do it because I know I wouldn't be good at it, but there's also I won't do it because it's illegal kind of thing, right? And so he's taking some pretty big risks here working for Big Jim. Then I always gotta ask, how are we being paid in this as well? You know, we steal stuff from these places, including drugs, and what are we doing with them? Exactly. You know, he was talking about selling them on the side, right? There's another big risk. Again, unreported revenue in most cases, right? So, questions abound, right? And I don't ask them because, you know, because I disagree with what he's doing and all that. I don't want him to get caught. Like, I understand what he's doing, why he's doing it, and I don't hold that over him in any way. To me, he's just being a good parent in a you know, not so great way. In the end, I'd say you do what you gotta do, but
Give me a new enemy.
you know, and I always try to think about things like this. It's like, okay, well, let's say you need to do something to help or save somebody you care about, and not just somebody. Like the person, let's say the person you care about more than anything else in the world. You know, I always think of games like Life is Strange, The Last of Us. Put yourself in a situation where you're the character that has to make a decision, and put it on you that the decision you have to make could involve the person you love the most, you care about the most in the world, you know, dying. And it's not like the person has a death sentence already. What would you do? Not necessarily how far would you go and stuff, but I mean, like, if you had an opportunity to... If you knew you had something that you could do to help them, and it was risky, it doesn't have to be something like this necessarily, but wouldn't you do what you had to for them?
Judgment Day is coming soon.
We do have a key on us that we haven't used yet. Okay, yeah, we did this from earlier. Let you do your thing.
Big Evil Smith.
There we go. Okay.
Diversity, like in a British museum.
Like the art museum we were just in. Can't help but notice some of these pieces are the exact same. Celestial Empire.
Spirit
Now that I'm like at the end of the game, I feel like I can probably continue with Gab's playthrough and see how she's doing with it. I'm assuming she's finished at this point, but like I said, since I don't know how the game finishes, maybe it just doesn't end at all. Maybe this is a continued thing. Like I said, maybe they've added stuff onto the game, so start here. This one will probably take up a lot of it's got a lot of cleaning to do in here. Let's just leave it at that. This is one of those explodey rooms. One of, might be the only one, I don't remember.
I still smell blood. My work here is done.
Oh, okay, that actually did finish up. This side. Going back on what I was saying about,
I know no fear.
about what would you do for the person you care about the most in the world? And a lot of people are so quick to say, "Oh, it's selfish to, to not think about the lives of the many versus the lives of the few." And it's like, no, that's just the way we are. For a lot of people, that worth of that one person is all that keeps them in this world. So for them, it hits differently. Ask anybody that's a parent, a true parent, a parent that actually cares for their kids, because there's a lot of people out there that are just really bad parents. I would like to say, I'd like to hope more often than not that there's most people out there that have kids, actually care for their kids. People that have a significant other or really strong ties to their family, people, have really friends that they're really close with, like it's the only person in the world they can talk to. All lives matter. That's... But, some lives are going to matter more to you than others. And for different reasons. So I understand the mindset of the lives of the many thing, but, psychological experiments have shown too, more often than not, if a person is pressed with the choice, a lot of times they will choose to save the life of the many versus like the life of one person, but put them in a situation where, and I'm just mean in general, not somebody they care about, but put them in a situation where they have to be the one who actually to take out the one person, and if they didn't do it themselves, the rest were going to die. Then a lot of times people can't do it, and when it comes to it in the end, they just can't. So it's not a matter of action versus inaction. It's a matter of they have to do it themselves. Alright. I think that might be it. So what I'm going to do is scope around the facility a little bit. Okay, so that's where the bodies were going, because they were just literally being dumped in here directly, which is nice. Still gotta find those missing crates, so... Oh my god. Really?
Aha! Nothing shall get past me.
Okay. Oops. right there. Okay. This one went under my radar because it was already covered by the shelf. Oh my god, it's just out of alignment. It was literally right there the whole time. I was looking right at it. Okay, we're done.
Try not to get yourself caught, Kowalski. The underworld will always have a place for a good crime scene cleaner.
We'll see about that.
Very nice. Perfect score for everyone so far. This is supposed to be the last one, unless they've added on, so. It's a lot of money. Yeah, see, why give me that if... Unless we're gonna have some add-on, right? Or I guess replay as well. Killing in the name. All in dead. Perfect time. Wonder what that's for. For getting all the perfects?
Good evening. In a significant development, notorious gangster Big Jim, real name James O'Connor, was arrested last night after a high-speed chase for reckless drunk driving.
Really?
Authorities have long suspected Big Jim of running money laundering operations from his warehouses and being involved in multiple murders, but he has evaded justice for years due to lack of evidence. His dramatic capture has renewed hope for law enforcement, who believe this could be a major breakthrough in their fight against organised crime. Police are urging anyone with additional information to come forward.
Interesting. So, we didn't get caught in the end. Challenges are now available. Select completed mission for more information. Okay, well, I think that's it. I think that's going to be the end. Really no conclusion for us. That's not what I was expecting Big Jim to look like. He doesn't look like the stereotypical mob bosses I've seen in the movies and games, so... That would threw me off a little bit there. I like the voice though. The voice is really cool. I'm not sure if he was using a voice modulator though. I always assumed he was. There were definitely a lot more voice actors on there though than I was expecting. So maybe that was just his voice and I'm not, I don't know. It sounded like it was a bit garbled to me, but maybe that's just the way he speaks. I mean, we all have really unique voices in our own way, right? So that was kind of funny. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm still not sure quite how I'm going to break up these last couple of episodes that I've been recording because they've been pretty lengthy. So I might split them up into smaller videos or just edit down stuff a little bit. If I over edit, I apologize in advance, but I'll try to keep in all the major stuff. I think what I'm going to do though, because we're not done yet. I want to 100% complete this, definitely. So we're not done yet. What I might do is I'm going to go check the trophy lists, see what's on there. See what we can complete for the platinum trophy. I want to see what those extra ones are too. See if it's anything that's worth doing. And so who knows? Maybe we'll have one more episode where I'll do a kind of show stuff that we missed out on or something. I don't want to do the full chapters again, but I'll probably just record and pull out what I can that's interesting. So hopefully the file sizes aren't too massive. But I do have a new backup drive I got so I can store them. Anyways, that's where we'll close things up for this one. So, thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.